So do you know what's going on down there? Any idea?
No.
Okay. So what's happened is someone has, they dug it out, basically, to make it deep enough because the foundation itself really is like maybe 12 inches.
Okay.
Okay.
So
What is it supposed to be?
16 to 18 minimum.
Okay.
And I think it's supposed to be, that's from the bottom of floor joist to the ground, so the foundation itself would go even deeper, technically.
Can I ask a question
Yeah.
just to start? Because
As
I'm
many as you
confused
want.
by the word foundation because it's post and beam construction, or what is it called?
That's the inside, so I can totally show
Okay.
you. So the
check it out.
exterior, right? If
Yeah.
I were to slice it,
Yeah.
basically is your wall sitting, or in this case, it's your floor joist sit like this, and your wall sits way up here, right? So here's your floor joist, sits on a plate,
Mhm.
sits on concrete,
Mhm.
and then usually the concrete will go way down here, and it's a T footing. You've probably seen that before, maybe. And then the soil. So what they've done is they've gone in here and they've dug it out, and they knew they couldn't leave this because what'll happen is over time this will slough. So they went in and they built a little, probably 16-inch or so tall CMU block wall, and they filled it with grout. They did it right in this sense, and then they backfilled it with gravel, like this. And then the unknown, and I tried to dig in one spot, and it was way too hard in the soil, so I couldn't get that deep, is how, and there is some kind of concrete pad,
Oh, good.
but how thick that pad is.
Okay.
It needs to be a bare minimum of, like, typically I design them 6 to 8 inches. 6 is my minimum, to be honest with you. And then on the non-bearing sides, and this is where I'm going to kind of look at it, but on the non-bearing sides, I think you could get away with 4 inches on non-bearing. Okay?
What is
Meaning-
non-bearing mean?
And that's exactly, so my floor joists are running this way. My roof is all running this way, except for this little pop out. This is a bearing wall.
Got
It's
it.
supporting all of the load.
Got it.
Okay?
So the east wall and the west wall are bearing, or the north wall and the south
this
wall?
one and
Yeah.
the front one.
Okay,
I don't know
so
which one.
east and
East and west.
this is the west wall.
This is
Yeah.
the west wall. Let me make a note of that. So this is west.
Yeah.
Okay, so north would be, if I can hit this way.
So that one. Yeah.
I'm a little bit challenged when it comes to that. Okay, so what's happened is they've gone in, they dug it out. This was not nearly deep enough in it, so they could get access, I'm sure, down there to get all the piping and everything when they redid bathrooms or something. They realized, well, we can't just leave this. They did the smart thing. They built this, I design these all the time. Built this little retaining wall. Like I said, I usually put them on a 6 to 8 inch thick pad by 12 inches. And again, on the non-bearing, 4 inches you could get away with. But I really feel like you need at least 6 inches on bearing walls. And it needs to be,
And we don't know what it is.
we don't know what it is.
Okay.
Okay, so
How-
that's,
what do you have to do to find out?
Sounds like
Dig.
some
Like
excavating.
dig or drill a hole or?
yeah, I mean, you need to actually get in there with like a shovel and someone who can pound through that hard clay.
Okay.
Because it's pretty hard down there.
On like a number of points
Yes.
to compare them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then backfill with gravel. So there are spots that are not backfilled enough.
Okay.
There's rodent holes and stuff in there, which means they're getting in and out. Gravel will help that quite a bit. So you do need, the number one thing you need to do, and this is, I'm kind of going backwards now, because this will be the
Sure.
last thing you do.
Right.
But you want to fill all of the spots with gravel
Okay.
that are not like, nice and clean.
Okay.
And you can, well, I think the wall right here, if you want to see what I'm talking about, you can literally poke your head in right here and see it if you wanted to.
If I'm not flexible.
No, you don't even have to get in. You can literally just look. It's right, you just have to get in that hole. I have a, you don't
Well,
have to
I'm
if you don't want
wondering-
to, but I'm just saying if you want to kind of have a vision. Here's a, I can find it. I have a flashlight I can hand you.
So I saw
Why
this,
am I not- That's it. That
and
one.
the
Yeah. Now
So-
I've lost my flashlight. That's okay.
So in between this concrete wall and then the foundation wall.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright,
That
I'll
doesn't
find
sound-
it. No.
okay.
Yeah, so it's in between this little guy and this.
Okay.
Okay? So let's kind of walk because I want to show you as we go. They actually poured a whole new wall in one area, and I did take some pictures. More questions? I'm totally open.
Well, one of the I've heard different things because we had some other people give quotes
Right.
before we had an actual engineer, and somebody suggested that the actual surrounding concrete is not what's actually supporting the house.
It is.
It is supporting the
the
house.
house. Yes.
Huh.
So what's happening
So
is,
that's why I'm confused.
in most places, let's
Okay.
just say that. Let me make sure I find it here. Okay. Yeah. So I start here. This is my Sammy wall. Okay, wait. You want to know about post and foundation? So this is in plan. Literally, this is our access right here.
Yep.
So this is this little bump out. So the post and beam that you're hearing is to hold up the floor because your floor joist can't span. There are lines of post and beam
Right.
that are holding up your floor.
Right.
And then, so like the last line over here is like here, and then you have about 6 feet. So technically, this foundation is holding up 3 feet of floor and all your roof, or half your roof. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
And that's what makes it a bearing wall.
Got it.
Whereas this, my floor joist, since they're running this way, this is a non-bearing wall.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I also wanted to see is make sure there's no roof bearing on it.
Got it.
Because your major issues right now are right in here,
Okay.
where all the water is.
Well, just circling one area of the house makes me feel better, but I realize there's
Well,
potentially an issue.
And we
with
kind of need
the-
to talk about
yeah.
kind of what's going on the rest of it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So that's what they mean when they say you have a post and beam foundation. You
Yeah.
still have the foundation wall, but
have those
you have the
supports.
post and beam on the inside to support the floor.
And
I
it's my
see.
understanding that some of those posts and beams are newer and they're on pretty
Yes,
big
they're
concrete
huge
pads.
Yeah. I mean, they
okay.
can hold up like 3-story
And that
house
was
on
some
my
of the
God.
work
That's-
that was done when you bought the house from the previous seller from that invoice.
Well, I sent you that invoice. I don't I don't. Did you see
didn't
that?
see
No, I've got
you
it on
could,
me.
Show her. I don't know
I
enough
feel
to
like it was
understand
all
what
done
that
at the same
means.
time. This little wall and this, but maybe not.
I don't know.
I'll pull it up as we're walking and
Okay.
give it to you.
So you have the little CMU wall here. So, okay, so on this side, if I remember correctly, this felt like an addition. This is definitely an addition, the way that the post and beam are done.
Interesting.
You don't have a full 12 inches here. You really only have about a 4-inch slab. I feel like they poured it on a slab.
And is that a problem?
It's not ideal. So we may, where this little 4-inch slab is, want to go in and support it off of this wall, which is kind of what we may do on the other side. But
Okay.
I mean, this is showing it to be bigger. That may be. I mean, is it a problem? It's a problem to today's construction because we require 12 to 16, but
Right.
I'm not seeing a lot of cracking in there.
Right.
And so long as, and the reason we do this is because if it erodes or it pushes down, your soil's going to push out. Well, the theory here is if this is all filled,
Yeah.
there's nowhere to push.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
Mhm.
And this wall's holding it back. So this is kind of one of those, it's doing the job it's supposed to do at the moment. But this is indicative of it's much taller. So maybe what we're seeing is this little 4-inch. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this 4-inch, and somehow this goes up the outside, which is kind of funky. But that's how they built the foundation, so it's not the end of the world. What's funky is, let me see if I have a picture of it from the. I do actually. We could crawl back in there and grab one really quick. No, that's not it. Last week.
And still new blocking is needed to complete support.
Yep. So this is one area the plastic actually was not. So there's the SAMU wall. It's
Mhm.
kind of hard to see though,
Mhm.
especially in this glare.
Mhm.
I wonder if I can brighten it. Hang on, let me see if I can brighten it up. Do I know how to brighten it? No, I don't want to we go. Awesome. All right. So this is literally, the access is right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I can pass this around. This is the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, oh shoot, kind of see a little slab right there. So
Mhm.
that's kind of tough.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what we're seeing is the bottom of that slab. So they kind of like poured the foundation up off of the patio slab to create this addition.
Huh.
Which is okay because we kind of have our own little retaining wall now, or little footing foundation wall. But the bottom of the slab is above this wall. That's going to throw people for a loop.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to like that. So what's going to happen is the way they built it looks like so you've got your floor joist here, and then I almost feel, I mean, it's kind of funky. I almost feel like they came in and built foundation wall here maybe on the outside, and the floor joists are resting on the slab right here. I'm wondering if that's what they did, because what I'm looking at here is not what I'm seeing on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to
Sure.
correlate the two.
Okay.
What I do see is this little 4-inch guy.
Okay.
That's what I see under these floor joists.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
So, and then what happens is the top of your wall is here. So what you're seeing is basically a slant, a difference in elevation that will throw people off. So the way to fix that again is to either support these off of this, or maybe even go in but that would require epoxy doweling. You're probably better off just supporting it. So we can figure that out in a second. So this is a funky little area because it's an addition.
It's interesting because this is the only house.
Yeah,
So
I know. I
wonder-
thought of
I don't
that.
know when that
I-
addition. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a puzzle to me.
Well, that's. And how old's the house?
1938.
Yeah. They have plumbing. My father-in-law
Yeah,
grew up and
but
there was no
who knows?
plumbing. They
Yeah.
went to an outhouse, and
Yeah.
so maybe there was no bathroom for a
Right.
long time.
It's possible.
And maybe in the 50s they put it in. I mean, I'm
Right.
not saying
Yeah.
the addition was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's a possibility too.
Right.
Okay, so then we come here, and this on the inside is a whole new concrete wall, which is good. It's on my plan. Basically, a new concrete wall from here around to here.
Okay.
The only thing that was kind of like, it's not spectacular, but not the end of the world, was right in here. It was odd. They dug it out. See if I can find the picture. And then they kind of just poured random, again, the glare. You can grab it if you need to. But so here's the bottom of the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And then they dug it out, and normally you would put the wall, because the CMU wall starts again here, but it's like they poured this glob of concrete. It's really weird, the glob of concrete. So there's the bottom
Oh,
of your
yeah.
foundation they
Okay.
poured, and this is the glob of concrete.
Huh.
So,
Okay.
but look, it's not a bearing wall. So I'm not
I know what the
too-
glob of concrete is.
Huh. Did you dump something down there?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, really?
We had a rat problem, and we had one hole that continued.
There's one down there right now.
continued. And a guy came in. He's like, "Oh, I could just pour a little concrete in the hole for you, and they won't be able to keep redigging out the hole."
No, they did.
So
There's a
that's
hole in there.
probably what he did, and it kept
Oh, that's
going.
awesome.
It's not good.
It's not bad.
Oh, okay.
It's low in place.
Okay. I didn't know if it screwed anything up, but that's probably
No,
where
but
the
there's
glob
also
of
another rat
But
hole
that
down
was
there.
just recently.
Okay.
That was yeah.
Yeah, there's another rat hole down there. He
Yeah.
managed to get in.
Yeah. I don't
Is
see
the
any
rat hole on this
externally
side?
It's right under the
Oh,
window.
I see it over there now.
Okay.
Well, actually, it doesn't look like a hole here. It just looks like someone tried.
I think it's underneath though.
I'm sure they found a way.
I'm
Or
sure
it
they
could
did.
be old though.
Maybe it's old.
It could be old.
Yeah.
Because we had.
Yeah, see it right here?
We had 8 stations for a long
Little rat
time.
hole
I've
right
really
there.
been keeping it under.
There's your rat hole. So
Yeah.
this is actually really good. So take a look at this so you can see it in the glare. Off to the right is the beginning of the foundation of the retaining CMU stuff, which is about right here.
Uh huh.
Then I'm going that way, okay? As I come this way.
Yeah.
And then here's your glob of concrete, and there's a hole right there.
Got it.
This is the opening window. It's about right here, I think. So if you want to turn this way, there you go. Now it lines up.